I haven't talked to this lady in since, the debt ran out. That that's it. And so like when we talk about when we have like children, what is some advice for that you have for men that like, they're in a divorce, but that there's children involved?
Absolutely. Absolutely. But and one thing, even with the children, as you mentioned, even with the children, there also is a lesser degree where there's an element of sometimes you have mutual friends. For instance, if your brother-in-law or sister-in-law, you may have become good friends with them. And so
Hmm.
then when a relationship ends, sometimes it makes that relationship a little strained or whatever. I mean, it's just like my brother-in-law. It's already straight up. If he leaves my sister, he's getting kirked. I mean, it's just straight up. He can't do it. We're definitely gonna have beef. No, I'm joking. And no take backs. No take backs. But seriously, sometimes our relationships can be strained with the family members. Sometimes you become good friends with your father-in-law, mother-in-law, or something like that, and sometimes that makes that clean break a little bit, uncomfortable, whatever. But still, you got to make the effort to do it. And
Yep.
even with the children and child support, alimony, it's all kind of tied in together because if you have children, most likely that man is going to be paying some sort of child support if they're
Yep.
younger. And so that kind of, keeps you a little bit tethered to them as far as your finances is mixed up. And then, you're going back and forth and trying to either get it lowered or trying to avoid it or, in these things. So it's something that if you do have the kids, it's I don't want to say it's unavoidable, but you could set whatever your payments are on direct deposit, or
Yep.
automatic. Sometimes they garnish your checks. If you have one of those that didn't, then it's already done for you. I mean, you're going to be pissed every time. I mean, listen, every man who has to pay even some child support, every time they cut the check or send, they, yeah,
Yeah.
it kind of definitely rubs you the wrong way. But that is something that makes it a little more complicated, but it's still doable. Just pay the money. As far as the Muslim concerned, we can look at it as every penny that we are paying, it's 100% sadaqah. It's a 100% charity, and we're going to get rewarded for every bit of it. And if
Yeah.
that other person misappropriates it in any way, then it'll be recorded in a good way for you and negative for them. Not that you're
Yeah.
wishing something bad for them, but hey, listen, if whatever soothes your heart.
Exactly. Yeah. So, and it's very important for that, when men, you're going through this, that we can go out, you can look this stuff up online, do your own research, but just know that your children are going to go through stuff emotionally. You're going to deal with all sorts of different possibilities with the children going through divorce. And there's too many different situations to even talk about of what your children could do or not do in this situation. But don't forget that you are still a parent. And just because you are divorced doesn't stop your parenting duties and responsibilities. So just make sure you take care of that. And yeah, just like Mark said, the big thing that's going to come out of that is you have to adjust financially to the new bills pretty much that you have to pay. And don't think that, this is more of the preparing for divorce. Don't think that, "Oh, I'm going to get divorced and I'm going to have more money because I have less mouths to feed." Nope. I'll give you it's a very simple example is that if say for instance, it takes, and I'm gonna just make an arbitrary number, it takes $100. It took $100 for you to feed your children and clothe them for the month. Don't think that you're gonna get in a divorce and then that only going to be paying $100 feed and clothe your children for a month, because all those numbers are going to skyrocket. You just have to be prepared for it, prepare for the worst case scenario, and just deal with it accordingly. We'll have more shows and episodes specific, and we have some already specifically on divorce and child custody and co-parenting and all that. So, and this part is really part about like you really have to adjust to this new situation that you're actually in. Like you really have to flip your mindset to like, okay, I'm not a married man anymore. Everything is changing and you have to adjust accordingly.